Call the dogs in because you're listening to the Field Master Podcast. All right, welcome everyone to the Field Master Podcast, episode number 1. Even though it's not a full episode, I feel like maybe we call it 0.5.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, it's 1A.
1A, yeah. And then we just do 1B, and we just keep going.
Yeah.
Well, super excited. Thank you for tuning in. We are here to talk about all things related to dogs in the competitive, sporting, working, and outdoor world, as well as interviewing some people who are masters in their field. Hint, field master. So we'll have on national champion field trial winners, professional dog trainers, veterinarians, and more. I'm super excited about this. Joining me, I have some amazing people. Ryan, to my right, even though it's audio, just setting the room for everyone.
Yeah, you'll see us later. We'll have the video podcast up, but for now, we're just ghosts.
Yeah, we had to get our name out there.
Figments of your imagination.
That's it. Across from Ryan, we've got Sam.
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
That's it.
Yep.
And then across from me, directly to Sam's right, we've got Caleb.
That's me.
So super excited, the four of us, to bring Field Master to you into your podcast queue. So we're gonna start off with an icebreaker, trying to set the tone for what you guys are going to experience, kind of on a monthly basis. For right now, it's going to be monthly. We're hoping to do it bi-weekly, but at the moment, it's just going to be monthly. So first thing we're going to talk about, being that this is a podcast related to dogs in all fashion. What do dogs mean to us?
Who wants to go first?
Well, I started thinking about this last night, and I just remember I've had a lot of dogs growing up.
How many?
I've had 5.
Okay.
So growing up, I've had 5 dogs. I've had majority of them are labs. I've always loved labs. They've always been just great.
Are
dogs.
the temperaments the same? Did you have like chocolate labs, yellow labs? Like, what did you have?
So I had a chocolate lab, and I had 2 yellow labs, and then I had a white lab.
Okay.
I would say the temperament was different dog to dog, not like color to color.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the chocolate lab, his name was Boca, was very energetic. Like it didn't matter how long you ran him, he had energy.
You said Boca?
Boca.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like we lived in Florida, so
Yeah.
Boca Raton.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, and then the 2 yellow labs were Bailey and Holly. Bailey was very laid back, mellow. Holly had a ton of energy. And then we had a white lab named Tanner, and Tanner was very like protective, not aggressive, just protective of like our family and stuff. Like those dogs you see on like TikTok or something where they can like just say a word and they just pivot to the other side or like go in between your legs and stuff. That was Tanner.
Was that a natural thing or was that a training thing? Did you get Tanner as a puppy and then it grew up that way? Or?
So we were gifted Tanner from friends because they didn't have the time to like train and stuff like that. So we were gifted Tanner. So it was a training thing. But I think naturally he just had that instinct.
He was like, this family won't leave me.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
I'm
pretty
gonna
much.
protect them.
Yeah. It's just like one day you're like, oh, this is my new family now.
Yeah.
So I had 5 dogs. So dogs have always just been a part of my life. I have a dog now, a pit bull. Unless you are a previous apartment, then it was definitely a border collie mix. But now that we own a house, we don't have to necessarily worry about that. But we have a pit bull now that's just a problem child in every.
She's a sweetheart. Though.
She is. She's such a sweetheart.
You would never know it if you met her in person.
Yeah.
It must just be a home thing.
That's true. Yeah. She's definitely comfortable at home. She's very particular on what she wants. Yeah. Like we have a sleep number bed and she's like, that's what she wants to lay in.
I thought you were going to say you had a dog sleep number bed. Like,
Yeah, we had to get a custom one made for her.
Okay.
We may or may not have an orthopedic bed for her. But that's because she's had 2 knee surgeries.
This is
and
how
things
the
like
other
that.
half lives, I guess.
yes.
The other. Yeah. All my money just goes to my
Right
dog.
to your dog.
Yeah.
I
And now
believe
with
that.
and now with a kid on the way, it's going to daycare. since, so
Congratulations.
thank you.
And
You're gonna see a shift in that priority.
Yeah, probably,
move
I believe it.
all the way to the kid.
yeah.
And
Although I don't know, you have 2 doodles.
I do, and they do get spoiled, but it's just one half of the family that's spoiling them.
Oh, gotcha.
And the other half
You?
is spoiling the kids.
Yeah, is it you
Yeah.
spoiling the dogs?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
I'm definitely the person that buys the collars and the beds,
Yeah.
and the leashes and anything that they need.
Everything bougie comes
Yeah.
from Ryan.
Yeah. Well, it's more just being picky because you get a dog collar and it's going to be on the dog for years and
Years,
years
yeah.
and years, and you're never going to get another dog collar.
Yeah, exactly.
Not unless it like breaks it or rips it off or something
Yeah.
like that. So I'm super particular
Yeah.
when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I have to do all the research and the shopping.
Yeah, we bought Oreo dog collar that's lasted her entire life,
Yeah.
essentially, and it's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
When did you get Oreo?
We got Oreo, I think 4 or 5 years ago now.
Okay.
She wandered up to my parents' farm, and my mom ended up like putting her in the farm in like a kennel, and my mom was like, well, I'll go see if she's got like a microchip or anything like that. Didn't have a microchip. Came back, put her back up because she had to go to work. Came home that night and Oreo was gone. And so we were like, my mom thought, oh, well, someone like, because she told the neighbor that if anyone came looking, like that's where the dog was.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, well, Oreo must be gone or something like that. Someone must have came and got her, and didn't hear anything. My wife and I at the time were kind of like, oh, it'd be nice to get a dog together, typical first step.
Mhm.
And then 3 days later, Oreo just shows up again.
Was she a
And
puppy whenever
She was a
won?
puppy.
Okay.
Yeah, probably 6 months old, maybe.
Okay.
really.
Like really young,
Yeah.
and just showed up and actually like chased my mom down. They live on like a long dirt road, like very cinematic type like movie scene where you see like the dog chasing the
Slow
car.
motion.
Except like it wasn't the
Music
it wasn't the
swelling.
person leaving, it was the person coming home. And so yeah, we ended up actually getting her that time, and she rode in my lap all the way home from the
Oh.
vet and everything like that.
She is a snuggly dog.
She is such a snuggle.
She's like a lap dog that's too big for your lap.
Oh yeah, like I have pictures that we'll show eventually on the video podcast, but just
Nice.
like laying on top of me
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, Ryan, what are your dogs like?
My dogs right now are 2 poodles. And
Right.
we get stereotyped on the regular.
But they don't. So to me, they didn't look like just straight up poodles. They're not
No.
like the French.
Normally you'd see, you got miniature poodles,
Mhm.
and you have the teacup poodles, and ours are standard poodles, so they're not your typical small fluffy poodle. They can get up to 55, 60 pounds.
Wow.
And my 8-year-old, I guess she's 9 now. My 9-year-old poodle Penny is way bigger than a normal
Yeah.
standard poodle. She's quite hefty, but not in a fat way. More like in
She's
a
very
She's
tall.
stocky.
more like in a
Yeah, she's
yeah.
stocky.
She's just big.
Yeah, she has long legs.
Yeah, she has a
Yeah.
big frame, and she's the best dog that I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
She reminds me, and my wife Rachel and I always call her Eeyore, because she's never really like amped up for anything, but at the same time, that's kind of what you look for in a
Right.
home dog. You
Right.
want them to be calm, and you want them to listen to you, and
Thinking back, like she is very mellow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And
mellow.
when she gets her tail wagging, which is like, that's a telltale sign
Telltale sign.
of a super excited dog, it's probably going at like 2 RPM. It's that thing is just barely wagging back
Yeah.
and forth, but
Yeah.
she's real excited.
Yeah. Penny's so funny because so we have our dogs come into our offices most of the time, and Penny will come in, just look at me, and then like pounce away.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like she doesn't come in and like say hello. She just looks and then just runs away. It's really funny.
That's her game. That's their playing, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
And we love Penny so much that we got another one, and our puppy is now, she's almost a year old. We got her in January last year, and she's the polar opposite of Penny.
Yeah.
They actually come from the same line. They Penny is I think the great aunt or something of Ruby.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I got them from the same place, and I loved how Penny, her demeanor and how she came out and everything.
Yeah.
I was just like, do that again.
Yeah.
Nope,
Nope,
I didn't.
not at all.
I didn't.
Whoops.
I got an extremely beautiful and smart dog, and Ruby's extremely sweet. But she's like a meerkat outside. She'll like bounce around everywhere, and then she'll just post up anywhere on top of something and just stand so straight and tall and just stare at the back door.
Regal.
Yeah.
I have so
Yeah.
many photos of her just looking like a little statue out there. But she also likes to use her hands a lot. So like if I'm playing with her, she like try to grab your hand with both of
Or
her
the
hands.
paws.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Her paws, yeah. And if I throw a ball up, Penny will catch it in her mouth, but Ruby will try to catch it with her paws.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Is that something that's typical of poodles, or is that just?
I've never
Ruby?
seen that before.
I've never heard.
Yeah.
I've heard of dogs that are like hugging dogs, which will like
Oh,
jump on
yeah.
your leg
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hug you.
Yeah.
Which I imagine maybe she might do that later on. But I'm definitely going to teach her to play frisbee, and we might even take her to do some of the dock diving stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because she so Penny always could catch balls in the air, jump up and grab them more in like a radius of like 2 feet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ruby, I can throw it like 7 feet to the right, and in
She's
one
going
jump,
for it.
she's got it
Wow.
in the air.
She
has
She's
that
the most
energy.
agile dog I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Just a
I'm
poof
excited.
ball.
She's completely different, but she's also not a full year old, and it took 2 years for Penny to kind of calm down
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
when she was a puppy. So
So you're like waiting
I've-
for that day.
yeah, no, I've had dogs all my life as well, and these 2 poodles are the first I've had since I've been married, and could actually call them my own dogs.
Mm.
Right.
But before that, we had a lot of mixes and small dogs. My family always had these tiny white puppies that would run around and bark at you. And I've
Were they like
fallen in-
chihuahuas, or what were they?
I've fallen in love with big dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We had a Pomeranian, Bichon, Maltese mix looking dogs.
Bougie,
and
like
we,
I said, bougie.
Yeah,
we did have
exactly.
one black lab named Pepper when I was really young, and then we had a couple dogs that were just kind of mixed breeds from the pound.
Yeah.
Sparky,
Gotcha.
and Brutus. We had a
What a
dog
name.
called Fritz.
Fritz.
So yeah, I've always loved them, and really happy now that I've got the 2. So
Sam, what's your dog history like?
I've had a lot of dogs. I've always loved dogs. The dogs, I've always been like, I take care of the dogs. They're my favorite. They usually sleep with me. Nobody else in my family. I had a Chihuahua once where he didn't let anybody wake me up. Like I'd be
Oh, that'd
sleeping,
be amazing.
Good dog.
and he would just like attack. Like if anybody tried to wake me up, and I was like, yeah, good dog. His name was Nacho. He was great. He was a Chihuahua.
Nice.
that was Nacho Dog.
Yeah,
Ah,
I got it.
Yeah.
So my first dog was a pit bull, so it was a big dog. But then after that, I guess it shifted into like a bunch of small dogs, and so I had like a Schnauzer named Shotzi, and then we had Nacho, and then a wiener dog named Spencer, and then I think after having a bunch of small dogs and having them bite the toes when people walked in, we're like, all right, let's switch to a big dog.
So that they can bite the hand, not
Yeah.
the toes.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
After that, we got Frank, which was my favorite.
I
Oh,
love how
what a-
you go
what a
from like
name.
Nacho to Frank.
His name was Frankie or Frank the Tank because he was 120 pounds.
What kind of dog was
Holy
he?
cow.
He was a white American Shepherd / lab.
Oh,
So
that's
he
great,
was
though. That's
a
good dog.
polar bear.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the sweetest dog. But yeah, we had him for the longest time, and he was the best.
Yeah.
But I guess my first, my fiance and we have our own dog now. So this is my first, like, we train it, we take him to the vet, we do everything. That's Toast. We got him, we saved him. And yeah, he's great. We should have named him Courage because he is a coward.
Courage the dog.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were going with that for a
Yeah. I was
second
like,
because
is
I
he
was
the
like,
kennel
are you
or-
talking about Toast?
Yeah. The wind blows too hard and he literally runs against my leg.
Toast is so funny because we'll be walking through the office and like Toast will just be walking in front of me and Toast is like, oh my gosh.
Somebody's behind me.
You could be in a different hallway and Toast is like, what's happening?
Yeah, he constantly looks like a seal because his ears are pulled all the
Yeah,
way back.
yeah.
He's just like, "What's going
A
on?"
little land seal. Yeah.
How did you get Toast again?
We rescued him from this place in Houston.
That's great.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they found him when he was like 3 weeks old, walking the streets, and yeah, we got him. His picture, he was wearing a bow tie, and I think that really sold Luke. Luke loves a good bow tie.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sold at that point.
Yeah.
Caleb,
that's
what
fun.
about you?
So I've had dogs my whole life as well. My first dog was a Springer Spaniel, beautiful dog. His name was Gideon, which is a great name.
Such a great
overall, Yeah. And he was, unfortunately, I was really young at the time, so I had no idea what it meant. But he was, his parents were brother and sister, so it was an incestual, whatever. And so he had terrible behavioral problems.
Yeah.
Like he would rip up all my clothes. He would bite me and my siblings and stuff. And then my dad would come home and be like, "This is the best dog ever." And he'd just be like sitting there like, "I'm all innocent" or whatever. And then as soon as he would leave, like he would literally turn on the family and be like, "Rah, rah, rah," like go after us. And it was, I don't know why it took him so long, but they finally, they had to put him down or whatever. And so it was years before we got another dog. And we got it from a family member. He was a Doberman Pinscher mix. He was mixed with something, but he was a Doberman, and he was a great dog, man. That dog was great. And after like 3 years of owning that dog, the family member came back and was like, "Hey, I want him back." And we're like,
Oh, gosh.
what? And like, what
I had a
confusion.
similar situation
Oh,
with
it's
one of my
terrible.
dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, well, so when they dropped him off, when they were leaving, because they were leaving states, they were going to like from New York to North Carolina or whatever, and they go, they're like, "Here you go," and he was just like, "I don't want them to leave." And then when they came to pick him up, years later, he was like, "I don't want to leave." Like,
Yeah.
so this poor dog, back and forth. So after that, then
That Doberman's, that's a pretty big dog.
oh, he was
too, isn't
huge.
it?
Yeah.
I love big dogs.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for big dogs. I don't like little dogs.
Yeah.
They're just like dumb cats.
Yeah.
Did you have the Doberman from when it was young, or did you?
So he was a puppy. He was like he wasn't full puppy. He had to be like, I don't know, like a year old or something.
Okay.
So he was a kid, but he was good.
I've seen photos of Doberman puppies, and they have like headgear on to keep their ears straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't
The
do
little-
that.
Yeah.
little
So when
band.
it was an
Yeah.
adult, were the ears straight up, or were they?
Nope, they were
No.
floppy.
They were
And,
floppy.
oh man, he was a great dog. He had a great temperament, like really, really good. And
Yeah.
I grew up with a bunch of siblings, so I had a lot of like younger siblings, and he was just like super nice. So after that, then we got a husky. My parents were like, "All right, we got to get the family a dog then." And we got this husky, and he was Wolfgang. We named him Wolfgang.
Gang.
Nice.
And he was
Last name Puck.
No. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is what we named him.
Okay.
Like
well,
the,
That's
they're a little
mouthful.
different. Yeah.
like
It's still hardcore.
Yes,
It's still
it was,
hardcore,
it was
yeah.
great. And we had a piano, and so he would jump up on the piano. And we're like, his namesake, So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But he was the greatest dog. And when we first got him, we lived in the city, and so he was a house dog. And then we moved out to the country, and he became the best country dog ever. Like I would go on hikes for miles and miles and miles, and he would just be on my side the whole time. If any animal like showed its face, he was like, "It's mine," and like protective and whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, he did so many smart things. He was a really, really smart dog. And then we ended up through happenstance, we moved back to the city. And so then he became a house dog again and was just like, whatever.
That transition's hard,
It's
especially
very
if
hard.
you go from
Going
like
from
having a
city to
lot of
country.
room.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we had tons. I mean, he would just roam
Yep.
all day and then come back home, and we would just roam. It was awesome.
Yep.
After him, he was the family dog, but he became my dog. He was just like I took care of him. I took him on walks. Like him and I did everything together. So when he passed, my family was like, I don't know if we want to get another dog. So my sister and I went and bought a Beagle Lab mix. So he was, man.
Were they
he was,
short like a beagle?
Yes, he was super short, but he was long. And so
Okay.
it was like super cute. We named him Brennan. He was a great dog, great lap dog. And he was way too big for our laps, but he always cuddled
Yeah.
up and just curled up right in our laps. And
Yeah.
that was the last dog.
What
that I
made
had.
you name him Brennan?
So it's an Irish name, and my family's very Irish, and we gave.
I would have named him Seamus.
Seamus, yeah.
That works too.
Yeah.
But we like human names for dogs, and
Yeah.
that's I was just gonna ask you, like, what's your favorite dog name that you've heard? Because I have one that's not a human name, but I
I've
have one.
heard.
I have a favorite puppy name. I don't
Okay.
know how it would work when the dog grows up, but Wigwam was
Wigwam.
my favorite puppy name.
Oh, that's
I've
great.
ever
Where's that
heard.
from?
Yeah,
That's
from,
great.
it was my Rachel and I saw it at a humane society one time on a puppy. It was on his collar.
Wigwam.
That's
His name was
great.
Wigwam, and it was really hard to put him down. Like, put him back.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh,
We didn't
Physically
get the
set the
dog.
dog
Like,
down,
physically
not-
put him
yeah.
down.
Goodness gracious.
No, I don't have like a favorite name. So our dog Oreo, we call it everything but Oreo. So like Nugget, when we're mad at Oreo, we call him Heifer. And so like I don't know that there's like a favorite dog name. It's
Yeah.
just we never call Oreo.
Yeah. We had to start retraining Toast because we would call him Bud so
Oh,
much,
Oh yeah.
and
yeah.
so when we said Toast, he wouldn't respond.
yeah, that makes
And
sense.
so we were like, okay, we need to start calling him.
Well, it's
Toast.
common because you'd be like, "Come on, bud,"
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like I just say Bud.
That makes sense.
He
Yeah.
responded to Bud.
It's
but-
short for buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay,
Air
so you
buddies.
had one.
Oh yeah. Well, Ryan, what do you have? Do you have a
Favorite
wigwam?
name?
Wigwam.
Wigwam
Wigwam,
was
yeah,
my
he said
favorite, but it wasn't my dog.
Right.
We don't
Yeah.
call my dogs
Wigwam.
Ruby and Penny either. We
What do you
call
call-
them like Fru and Rue.
Isn't
and
that
all
funny?
that
Fru
kind
and
of
Rue.
stuff.
Yeah.
Do they still
It's so
do
fun.
they
But they're-
respond to?
we have
Penny
middle
and
names
Ruby?
for our dogs though. Their middle name is both Rue.
Yeah.
So we just play off of the
Oh.
There you
Rue.
go. I get it.
It's
Yeah.
classy.
Yeah.
They're
Ruby
poodles.
Roo.
They are poodles.
Yeah,
So
I was about to
you know.
say they're poodles. Yeah.
Well, I guess didn't clarify that we don't cut them like poodles. We cut
No,
them,
no,
we
not at
cut
all.
them. We don't
Yeah.
cut them really.
Yeah.
Just let it grow.
We
It's
cut them when
very
it
let it
gets
grow.
long, and it just like I think it's called a lamb cut, where it's everything's the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just once Penny can't see anymore.
Once Penny,
Once
yeah,
it
which is like
gets
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
Bring them back in
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
So, and they don't shed very often.
They don't shed at all.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, they're
poodles
hypo-
are
And it's hair.
they're
hypoallergenic.
hypoallergenic.
Yeah.
They don't have anything come off. But they have hair instead of fur.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is the main reason.
Cool.
That's so nice.
So dun 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 dun. Here's my favorite dog name. It's DOG because it's DOG, but you say DOG. Come here, DOG. I love that name.
That's
I think
almost too creative.
Oh,
It's
right.
almost almost too good.
Yeah.
That it's like
as in it's
It sounds a
perfect.
little
Yeah.
pretentious.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness, pretentious. Oh, it was a mutt. Growing up, I knew a family that named it DOG.
that's so funny.
That's
great.
almost like naming your dog. Get back here.
Get back here.
Fifi, come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, we all have love for dogs, and we get to work with a lot of people who are in the dog world, whether that be veterinarians, trainers, people who are in competitions with their dogs, or just work with their dogs on a day-to-day. So we wanted to start Fieldmaster as an opportunity to get to share our thoughts and experiences with the people that we get to spend a lot of time with. So right now,
We want to go through some examples of some things.
Yeah.
Or some people who
Yeah.
we might
Sure.
be talking with in
That'd
the
be
future.
great.
Sure. So I think next coming up, the first episode, we're going to be honored to have Bill Gibson, who is the head trainer of Mossy Oak Kennels. So they train world-class dogs. They are, I feel like,
Most people's favorite camo brand.
yeah, I was about to say it's definitely a very well-known brand, and Mossy Oak has a lot of different units underneath it, including like nurseries, and a lot of people, don't know that they have a dog kennel too, and they train world-class dogs. A lot of celebrities go to Mossy Oak to get their dog trained or get a dog from Mossy Oak. We also have Lauren Harvey. Lauren Harvey is a bear hunter in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, who we got to spend some time with recently, and is just such a fun person to talk to.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So we'll get her on here as well. And then we also have some other ambassadors. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of exciting guests coming on, and we're going to be talking to them over the next year and even further into the future about different things that they do, kind of their story, their lives, how they got into all these different activities and events. So we are very excited for each of them. And then some episodes, it's just going to be us, and we're going to be talking about different life things, as well as, you know, talking about our experiences with our dogs and you know, kind of our past. So that is the epitome of Field Master. Hopefully with that conversation earlier, you got a little bit of a taste of kind of what the podcast is going to be about. So does anyone else have anything they want to add?
No, I mean, we're excited to get it going.
We're
excited to share knowledge from the pros, get everybody some tips, and eventually you'll be able to contact us and send in any people you'd like us to talk to.
That'd be great.
Or questions that need answered. So
Yep, absolutely.
I'll be right here learning along with y'all.
There we go.
That's right.
All right. Well, we are super excited to get going. For now, this has been our introductory episode. So we're going to be releasing these once a month for right now. Soon, our very first, our 1B episode, as we put it earlier. We will have a video version, so be sure to follow us on social media, things like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can find us at Sportsman's Pride, or on Instagram, it's at Sportsman's_Pride. So you can check that out. Be on the lookout for us to drop a new episode, and we'll be pushing that out through our channels.
Like and subscribe. Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. We're doing it. This is it. So I will say, when you get this, be sure to subscribe and follow on your favorite podcast app. So that could be Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. So be sure to check us out. Thanks for listening to the Field Master Podcast, and we'll catch you on the next episode.